Hey everybody, I'm drinking beer. Nope. It actually is beer. Ginger beer. But if you guys didn't know, this episode is for adult topics. Since it's a bit late, but who cares? This is Smexy Sunday, as I call it. Oh, that sounds so weird. Never had ginger beer before. I just realized I'm talking about adult topics while eating tiny little dino nuggets. Anyways, so this is episode 1 of Smexy Sunday. Smexy Sunday is just a stupid video series I wanted to do. There we go. Where I talk about stuff that is sexy. Not really. It's just basically adult stuff that I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is interesting. First I want to talk about... First I want to point out Sexy Sunday is always going to be adult topics, most likely involving details from my sex life, or my past sex life, or whatever. It'll also involve topics that are not suitable for children, so children, get out. 18 and up only. And I think this is probably going to be the hardest series for me because I'm not very good at talking about this stuff. I'll just put my bottle cap back here so it doesn't keep tilting. Bottle cap, stop it. Whatever. Hold on. Haha, got it. Alright. So the first episode of Sexy Sunday, I actually want to talk about specifically the topic that I've gotten the most questions on because some assholes think that I'm still a virgin. Fuck you guys. I'm not talking to the fans. I don't have any fans, that's why. No, but I'm talking to specifically the people from my old school. Well, not all of them. I have a few friends who are like, hey, virgin. I'm like, I'm not a virgin. They're like, hey, virgin. I'm like, fuck you. They're actually virgins. I'm not. Losers. Anyways, no, I'm kidding. I'm actually not proud of losing my virginity because it's not something that you should do and then, like, be happy about it, I guess. I'm kind of sad. I did lose my virginity at a young age. I lost my virginity at, I think it was end of 7th grade to beginning of 8th grade. So I was pretty young. I was still in middle school. I was way too young to be having sex. I had sex with she wasn't even my girlfriend at the time. Oh, dear God. This is going to be hard to sort of tell. Basically, it was someone who I had a crush on, but I never asked her out. She asked me out after we had sex, and I felt really guilty about it, so I'm just like, yeah, sure. And let's just say it was not fun. Afterwards, like, social sex was amazing, but the aftermath of it was just like, it really does weigh me down emotionally. It really does pull at my heart a bit. To know that I lost my virginity to someone who was not the one and not even close to it. That person actually ended up basically being very abusive and kind of dumping me right away. So, yeah. And I will admit, I'm very easy to take advantage of. I'm always saying yes. I'm always doing what people want me to. I just have a giving nature like that. And it's ended up getting me into some harmful situations with exes and all that. Jess is a different story. Jess is very kind about it. She knows my limits. She won't ever ask me to go beyond something I would normally not do. She may be a very abusive asshole, but only in, like, the smexy ways. Like, oh, wait, I can talk about this. It's 18 and up. Haha! Okay, so, she's extremely into torture, as she calls it. She specifically has a thing for whips. And by the way, she does the torturing. I am a complete masochist. Worst masochist you can ever find. The thing is, for some people consider masochism just liking pain. It depends on the person, I guess, but for me, my term of masochism is more the knowledge of knowing that someone who is really close to me inflicting that pain in a sexy manner is what makes it arousing, I guess I'm gonna call it. I don't know. But basically, it's not something that I really. It's not something that I really. I don't know. I try not to talk too much about it in detail because Jess tells me I can, but I'm just like, it just doesn't feel right. However, it's like she's very close to me, and she is the exact opposite of me because I am the total sub and she's total dom, so it kind of just makes sense, you know. But she has a bunch of toys, or torture toys, as she calls them. The least fun types of toys in existence. I mean, actually, for me, it's pretty fun, but for most people, it'd be like, Anyways, she actually has a whip collection, by the way. Yeah, that's no joke. She actually has a whip collection. Indiana Jess. Indiana Jess. Da 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 da. She actually choked me out with a whip one time. That hurt. I still have it. I had marked for like 3 days straight. God, no one ever came out to my house afterwards. But the thing is, like, Jess is more of like a character who would be, by character I mean personality. Her personality. She has the kind of like character type where she's cruel, but she's not cruel. So she'll take things a bit too far at times, but normally just during fun times, as I'm going to call them. But normally she'll ask before she does something. Sometimes she'll do something a little bit worse than I expect. But for the most part, she never really does something without my permission or without anyone's permission. She never hurts someone on purpose. She never does something someone doesn't want her to do. Simply put. But with most of my other relationships, it's been complete dog shit. Fun times. But I do want to point out that, wow, I really have a shiny forehead. Oh no. Anyways. I do want to point out, though, I lost my virginity at a very young age, which was kind of stupid of me, but at the same time, it was kind of what made me into a perv. To be honest, I didn't really go into, like, the puberty, like, hormone-filled teenager stage until I got into, like, probably 10th or 11th grade. Like, it was like, mid to end of high school. It was pretty bad, at that point. If you guys didn't... What the heck? If you guys didn't know, I was what you may call thirsty. Shut up, phone. I was what you may call thirsty. I was desperate at that time. I was just kind of like, I made a lot of like corny sex jokes, but like for most of the time, I don't know. I wasn't really looking for sex or anything, but I was kind of like making those jokes a lot, and it came across as perverted. But I was like I guess I was desperate for sex, to be honest. So if you guys didn't know, when I was in high school, I didn't have any sex. I never really had sex with anyone because no one was really around for it. And I never really thought about it in the long run. The thing is, I did have friends who would sort of tell me about their sex lives, and as weird as it may be, I kind of lived off of that. And I didn't have a lot of friends who were really into sex either, so it's kind of like there were very few. But most of my friends were kind of like, you perv. And it was kind of who I was. Like, I'm still a perv, but at least I'm able to admit it now. Back then, I was kind of more just like, I'm weird. What do you expect? Nowadays, I'm like, I'm a fucking perv. That's just who I am. Back then, I just classified it as being weird. Now, I'm very honestly telling you, I was a perv. Still am a perv. Always will be. Yeah, babies. But anyways, when I got through high school, I ended up basically just moving out to a adult group home, which if you guys didn't know, I was in an adult group home. Shut up, notification. I was in an adult group home I was in an adolescent group home from the age of 16 to 18. Once I turned 18 and graduated high school, I went to an adult group home. Then after that, I moved right here, where I am now, my own house. But for the most part, the actual, I don't know, the whole time I was in high school, never really had sex, never really looked for it, I guess. I didn't actually ask anyone for, to date or anything. Actually, that's not true. I asked a lot of people to date me. Oh, God. But I never really had the intention of just sex. It was people who I actually had crushes on and I actually wanted to be in a relationship with. The thing was, sex wasn't something that I really had in my mind. I made those perverted jokes, but it never really was my main goal. Yes, down the line, maybe, but not right away. I wasn't that desperate. But the thing is, like, when I graduated high school, I moved out here, basically. Actually, did I move right to the... No, I was still in high school when I moved to the adult group home. As soon as I turned 18, I moved, which I believe was the summer... Crap. Was I 18 or 17? I don't even remember. God dang it. All I know is I was there from the age of 16 to around 18. And I know I moved at the... Because I know for a fact, I went to school, I was at the adult group home, because the bus had to pick me up for... Or it wasn't even a bus, it was a transport thingy. They had to pick me up to go to school, and I was at the new group home. Gosh dang it, I don't even remember how old I was. Or like how old I was when I actually graduated high school. God dang it. I graduated in 2016, and June 7th is my birthday, and June 7th is around the time of the graduation ceremony. So... Actually, that's around the last day of school. One day it ended right on my birthday. That was awesome. Hold on. June 7th. 3 years ago. Okay, so I was almost 16 years... Not 16. I was almost 20 years... No, I was almost 18 years old. So I wasn't 18 yet. Okay. But they moved me into an adult group home, and then I kind of, like... There was a few people who I was tempted to have sex with. And like I said, the fact that I was, like, looking for sex, once again, I felt really guilty about it. Like, I didn't want to kind of do that. I guess it's just still hormones, I guess. Being a pervert sucks. But I will admit, there were a few people who I, like, restricted myself from. Like, I would not allow myself to ever go there. Of course, families never allowed, but, like, there was certain friends who I could not put them in that situation. I could not even ask them out. And a couple of them I had crushes on, but it was, like, so hard for me to actually, like, tell them of that. I mean, normally it's pretty obvious the way I acted. But, like, there were a few friends of mine who I never really got the chance to tell because I was just I didn't want to put them in that position because they were just, like, they were too kind to me and they were too nice. And I never really wanted to even tell them I had a crush on them because it was just, I didn't want to ruin things between us. Certain friends, it's a different story. They were kind of just more like the fool around friends who were kind of just assholes, and when I was assholes to them, it was like a playful thing, which is a lot of my friends do that now. But some of them I would definitely date, like, really. Also, I want to point out, I am bisexual. When I was in high school, there was a time where I was actually gay. I considered myself to be gay. When I got to about, I'm going to say, end of 11th grade to beginning of 12th grade, I considered myself bisexual because I didn't really know that bisexual was the term for it. I was mostly gay, but there were some females who I had sexual attraction to. And yes, I have fucked dudes before. I've been fucked by dudes too. Fun times. Let me just point out that I also want to get into the topic that for some reason I get a lot of hate about this. When it comes to breast size, I prefer flat chests. Now, before anyone goes and says, "Oh, you're a lolicon or you're a pedophile," that's not why. The reason why I don't like flat chests, or why I prefer flat chests and don't like bigger breasts, is because it's harder for me to feel comfortable around people who have bigger breasts. Just because I'm very awkward around girls in general. Being around anyone, actually nowadays, I'm just awkward around. My bestie just came over the other day, and oh god, it was very awkward. I was just too hyper, and I got really nervous around anyone. And she's like the closest friend I have right now, and she's the one who, honestly, has been with me through the whole thing. And I haven't seen her in probably a year by now, and it's just like, I didn't want to make things awkward, but I instinctively went to that awkward, like, energetic phase. So I'm always awkward around people who I really care about, and especially people who are female. Now, not saying people with flat chests are not female, but the thing is, it makes me feel more comfortable when their breast size is smaller than mine, which nowadays is pretty easy to do. I mean, I have some big boobs. No, but the thing is, like, it was easier for me to sleep with guys because I could connect more with them. I don't have a very good past with girls, just because none of my relationships ever really worked out. It was always difficult for me because they never really wanted me. They just wanted to use me, I guess, is the way to phrase it. With guys, it's always been a mutual thing. It just hasn't worked out. Especially with the customs of my family, who were a strict Christian and raised me to be such. Yep. Which also ties back with the losing my virginity thing at such a young age. But I want to point out that, let me check how much better. I got 13%. Okay. Basically, it's harder for me to sleep with girls who have more features that are specifically for females. Like, it's just harder for me. It's easier for me to connect with people who are more like myself, I guess, which for some reason subconsciously flat chest counts. I don't freaking know. But that is the truth behind it. I don't feel comfortable around people with large breasts, which is scary because Jess has, like, she told me I could tell you. I don't remember. I think they're double Ds. They're either D's or double D's. I don't even remember. I don't measure her breasts, so I don't know. I probably should. Maybe I'll do that. No, I'm kidding. But she has pretty double dang sized breasts. I don't know if they're really double D's, but they're D's or double D's. So she's pretty high up there. But that's like most of the girls who I went after for like the people who I had crushes on and all that, people who I found attractive, were all over the place. They were larger breasts, they were flat chest. It doesn't matter. But the people who I felt comfortable around, like just mentally, like people I could actually be myself around, if they had bigger breasts, it was much harder for me. The thing is, Jess and I have been friends since basically elementary school. We've known each other for way longer than I can even remember. So it's hard for me to kind of feel uncomfortable around her, because none of my friends that I have nowadays are actually from that long ago. There are a few, but most of them I don't even talk to anymore. They were from high school. After high school, they kind of just dropped off the face of the earth for me. But yeah, so it gets pretty awkward when you keep telling people you like people with flat chests, and they all of a sudden accuse you of being a pedophile or whatever. I'm fine being accused of being a pervert. I am a pervert. When it comes to pedophilia or like being a lolicon, I guess is the phrase for anime ones. I don't even know if it's lolicon or pedophilia, which one it is, but basically, if we're liking girls who look younger than they really, like younger than is legal. No. I even mentioned all the waifus I have. If they are a lolly, it's not, I don't consider those characters waifus. I call them waifus because it's literally nowadays a waifu is just an anime girl. Like, that's just the term, what the term has evolved to be. Yes, the term still means someone who basically you have a crush on, but they're a waifu, they're not real. Oh god, I wish they were real. But it's kind of evolved into a term where it's just like, oh, that's a cute character. Not even sexually cute, just cute, like adorable. And specifically for me, it's, when I call anyone a waifu, it's not always based off their appearance, it's based off their personality and the way they act. So, with lollies, if I have a lolly waifu, they're not actually someone I would date in real life. They're just someone who would be like, oh, that's so cute, and then to be like, yeah, and I go, oh, my heart, it's so adorable. I'm very weak to cute things, okay? So I do have a list of waifus, but most of those waifus are not the actual term of waifu. I just consider them anime girls who I find cute, and then husbandos I have a large list of too. Same thing with shotas, by the way. Shotas are like the male lollies, basically. Same concept with them. I normally base it off their character type, like their yandere, tsundere, kudere, kamidere, dere, I forget what else I'm missing. There's a bunch of them. Basically, depending on their character type, if they act a certain way, I think they're cute. Just their way they act is adorable. If they are like, if they're like the clumsy type, that's always adorable. Like, you can't deny they're adorable. The hungry type, the ones that always eat a lot, I mean, for me, that's adorable. It's funny and adorable. But when it comes to actual appearance, I don't care much about appearance when it's the cuter characters. The only thing I care about appearance is when they act seductive, kind of. Like, characters like, one of my least favorite, I don't even think she's a waifu for me, Cinder from Ruby. Oh, god, I hate Cinder, actually. I absolutely hate Cinder. I'm going to get into that in a different video, topic for a different video. Cinder is the character I hate the most, and yet the way she acts is very seductive. She talks very slow. She has that seductive feel to her. She walks very slowly and seductively. But sometimes that's the thing that like makes them a waifu is just the way that they act. Not seductive, but like the way that they act or the way that they respond to things is what makes them a waifu for me. Um, but yeah, and I do want to point out that the reason why I'm going into this is because I have been accused of being a lolicon before. I was literally just accused the other day because I was supporting someone who was a fictional character for dating a fictional character when they were technically both underage. That's not illegal. It's not pedophilia because they're both underage, so it's not illegal. He's 1 year older than her, but they're both fictional characters anyways. Who gives a shit? And these were Facebook accounts, by the way, who they're both furries. They both identify as furries, so it's like okay. But the thing is, they have profile pictures that make the one look older, like he's older, like in his 20s when he's really only like 15. And his character is even listed as 15 years old. And the girl is also she's 14, and her character is listed as 16. But either way, the person was arguing that the real life versions were the people who were dating when it was a fictional relationship. And I'm sorry for getting into this, but I was accused of being a pedophile for supporting this person who isn't even real because the person who accused me had made a post on his Facebook profile stating that this is wrong, this is just gross, this is disgusting. Why the heck is he allowed to do this? After also blocking the person. Do you understand where I'm going with this? They didn't even listen to the actual point or like the actual details of it. They just went and made a video or a post on Facebook with a chat that they had sent them, basically saying "you sick fuck" kind of thing. Like, I'm sorry, what? You don't even wait for a response. You post something on Facebook that has evidence, as you call it, which is literally just you yelling at him when he doesn't even respond, along with pictures of the characters and the like posts that you get when they're in a relationship. Okay? Plus, I follow both the real people who are those characters, and the thing is, like, they're both technically our peers, but they don't RP like sexual stuff. They have separate profiles for a character that they pretend to be. And the real life people are halfway across the world, so they're obviously not having a sexual relationship either way. I don't understand why they would accuse me of being a pedophile. By the way, 13 people accused me of this. And of course, this is the only way I know this, because they blocked me. I stood up for this person, and I was like, excuse me, but you making a big deal out of something that you posting about isn't going to change a damn thing, is kind of making you seem like the good guy, but honestly, you're only making things tough for everyone else by bringing up drama that you can't even impact, because you blocked the damn idiot. You blocked him, you damn idiot. And it's like, what are you trying to do? Cause drama? That's literally the only thing you're going to do. Get people riled up over a character who's not even real, and yet it's not going to solve anything? There is nothing being fixed about this by you making an angry post on Facebook. And I hate it when they're like, well, this is disgusting and wrong, and he's dating an underage kid. I'm like, he's underage! Like, what are you talking about? This is normal for people who are in high school as well. Like, you'll be accused of being a pedophile just because you're like a senior in high school and you're not even 18. Some people are still 17 when they're seniors in high school. But I had a friend who was 17 dating a 15-year-old because they were both in high school. But it was also because one of them was held back 1 year. So she was technically... so he was a senior, she was a junior. So she was 1 year behind, but she was not 15, she was 16. He was 17. But since they were 2 years apart in school, people were like, that's disgusting. You can't be dating someone who's still a junior. She's not a junior. She's a sophomore. God damn it, I can't even think today. So she's a sophomore, but she got held back here, so she would have been a junior. That's what I meant to say. I caught myself on that, because I know if someone would have commented in the comments, like, that doesn't make sense. Anyways, but I got accused of being a pedophile for supporting this guy. And also, my Facebook profile pic is me with my beard and fedora. And someone, after I was blocked, by the way, someone had commented on my post that literally told them off, because I'm like, you're not helping anything. You're just trying to be a right fighter who's someone who thinks they're always right by causing drama and then supporting it with evidence that is fake. Whole Vic Mignogna situation going on here. The whole issue there as well, but that's a pretty different topic as well. But the whole thing was just like, they blocked me, and I used one of my old accounts for Facebook, and went and looked at the post again, and there were like 13 people accusing me of being a pedophile. I'm like, hi guys, it's me again. I'm just like, is there a reason why you guys are talking about me behind my back? And the guy goes, yeah, you're a pedophile. Just look at that hat and that beard. I'm like, okay, what are you smoking? Like, how does my love for fedoras and my beard, which is extremely patchy, make me a pedophile? Thousands of people on Earth have that. There's probably thousands of people just in Rochester have that, and they're like, oh, they're all pedophiles. Pedophiles. Seriously? What the hell are you smoking? I just don't understand people like that. And I'm not a pedophile. I hate pedophiles. Well, I don't hate them. I don't hate anyone. But I hate their guts for me doing that. By the way, whenever I say I hate someone, I always say I have the inability to judge people. I cannot physically judge them because I have more trouble judging them than I do myself. It's impossible for me to judge someone else because I always judge myself instead. And I don't have the right to judge them. I've just grown to be that way. And I want to point out also, I'm going to be low on, I'm 10% still, whatever. I also want to point out that when it comes to judging people, I don't judge them, I judge their actions. There's a difference. I might not support I'll always support someone if they need me, but I'll never support wrong actions. Which is why I love everyone, but I don't love everyone's actions. There's no one in this world who I could hate. I mean, Monica Riel was pretty close on that list, though. She's pretty close to being added to that 0-person list so far. But I don't know. It's hard for me to judge anyone. I can judge, like I said, I don't judge them, I judge their actions. There are no bad people, there are only bad choices and bad decisions those people make. It does not make them a bad person, they're still equally equal. Their choices may put them in certain circumstances that are punishments for what they've done, or they don't have to take the consequences for it, but they're still humans. They're still just as human as me. I make mistakes, they make mistakes, I make wrong choices all the time, they make wrong choices. It's just some choices are worse than others. But overall, it's like, I can't support pedophiles at all. It's hard for me to see them as, like, people when they're purposefully harming someone who is obviously a child. And being accused of that, I was like, thanks. Honestly, I didn't take it too much offense to it. They're just people on the internet. I was bullied in school, 1st grade all the way through 12th, and I still get bullied occasionally by some of those people. I don't care. I've been through it. I've been through all of it. I don't give a shit. But when you talk about smack about someone else, that's when I get involved. And I know that they blocked me because he responded to my comment and then blocked me, and I couldn't go see what the comment was on my comment. So I'm just like, well, why'd you block me if I can't even go see it? So I used my old account, logged in, and 30 people accused me of being a pedophile. And I'm just like, okay. What's your evidence? Take me to court. Do it. Tell people I've been a pedophile. I just thought this whole scenario was hysterical because, like I keep saying, what were they smoking? I also want to point out that they were complete lunatics. They were going off and having this like huge debate over whether or not fictional characters can be taken to court. They were literally looking up laws for it and then saying, oh, the law is wrong. I'm like, how the hell is the law wrong? It's there. You can't say the law is wrong. Oh, you broke the speed limit. Sorry, officer, the law is wrong. That's not going to fly in court. By the way, 2 fictional characters cannot be taken to court. Even if there are people behind those fictional characters cannot be taken to court when the person behind those characters is not that character. I hate to tell you. Even for sexual harassment, you cannot sue someone for sexually harassing another person as a fictional character. You'd have to sue that person, which means you'd have to literally have evidence that they were behind the account doing all that, and there's no way to prove that. So even in court, you cannot sue a fictional character. Also, you cannot sue someone who's not even of age to be sued for pedophilia. Like, what the fuck? And last but not least, I thought it was funny that they were looking up the main person who made this whole post in the first place was literally looking up, this is the funny thing, was looking up stuff on Facebook, basically. There were these accounts that are known for basically being the attention getters. So people who will literally give tutorials on how to make people feel bad for you. And this guy had looked them up. And by the way, he had friended them. So I could see that he literally had just friended those people who literally give tutorials on how to get sympathy from people by manipulating them. And he was acting like he was a victim because people were getting upset at him for making that post. Are you serious? And of course he's like, well, my girlfriend just broke up with me, and my dog died, and then my mom has cancer. I'm like, bullshit. Like, none of that is true. I can guarantee that right now. Because your dog is still in the picture 2 days later. You still have a picture of you and your dog 2 days later. Which is not possible. And there's no, like, I don't know, I just fuck it. By the way, this guy was a Facebook friend of mine, so I had been following him for a while. I've seen his posts and everything. But what the fuck, dude? Your mom doesn't have cancer. I've seen her in pictures in the living room. I've seen her making dinner for you. If someone has cancer, my mom had breast cancer when I was younger. She survived. But when someone has cancer, they go right to the hospital. They don't get to go home unless they're diagnosed with it being terminal, basically where there's no cure for it. And even then, they don't have hair. They don't have the same appearance. They look more pale. They don't have the same appearance as everyone else. So you can tell when someone has cancer, especially when the post was made and it's like 5 days after that now. So it's like, okay, why is she still in your kitchen smiling and look completely normal? Also, like, the whole thing about your girlfriend breaking up with you, you were single on your profile for years. You've never had a fucking girlfriend on your profile, so why the hell should I believe you had a girlfriend? I mean, yeah, I don't doubt that if you had one, if they broke up with you, just look at what you're posting. But for the most part, I can't understand people like this. I just can't. They're just impossible. And I'm not really getting offended by what they tell me. I'm more getting offended that they're all debating over laws and saying they're wrong. It frustrates me when people take things and then make up shit to support it just to ruin someone's image. I don't care about my image, but this other guy who was literally still a kid, what is your point in making him feel like a pedophile when he most likely doesn't even know what, well, he probably knows what a pedophile is, but, like, what the hell? Not to mention, the guy who's posting this stuff, or posting this whole debate thing, it's not even a debate, it's just a discussion. But what happened was, his whole profile is full of, like, lewd images of, like, characters from anime and all that. And this is the thing, he accuses someone else of being lewd and, sexually, like, active on Facebook and all that, like, I don't know what it's called. But it's like, excuse me, you post lewd shit on your profile all the time. Literal boob pics of characters. And you don't list your page as 18 and up. So I'm pretty sure you're doing illegal stuff by exposing minors to lewd images with literal pornography. Yes, it's basically hentai because they're anime boobs. Like, that's still considered pornography. And the thing is, some of those characters are lollies. Like, are you serious, dude? And they weren't really lollies. They were like the middle between a lolly and a normal character. They have like that cutesy look to them. Plus, I can guarantee in the anime they were all underage. So your whole debate goes way out the window. But I was glad when I had to make another profile in order to check it out because he had commented on my comment again and then blocked me. I didn't get to see the comment first. I made my third profile. My first one was the one I have. The second one was the one I had way long ago. Third one I had to make a new one to go see what he had posted or commented. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm done with this conversation because he was just being a lunatic saying, I am not making a big deal about this. This is definitely wrong. Okay, think that. And then I looked at his profile and he changed it to 18 plus. He had posted 18 plus on his bio. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. And I commented, I'm like, well, also, I'm not being sarcastic or anything. Literally, I genuinely want to thank you for taking my advice and changing your profile to 18 plus. Because that is, you can get your, I told him in the previous post, you can get your page banned from Facebook if it has immature or like pornographic images on it. And it's not listed as 18 plus. There are lots of ways that you can get your site taken down with any of that stuff. Even if the characters aren't real, it's still pornographic. So I'm just like, I honestly should just let it be taken down. But I was like, you might want to change your profile because you will get your shit taken down. Because Facebook does not fuck with that. I mean, they don't really check Facebook that much, but there are people online who will ban your Facebook page from Facebook, by the way. Who will basically delete your Facebook page for pornographic images without it being listed as 18 plus content. Because he was literally exposing people who could very well be 10 years old to pornographic images. It's like, I'm glad he took my advice, but I really wish I didn't tell him. I mean, I'm glad I did because I did help him out in that aspect. And I'm not gonna do a tit for a tat on him. It's like, I don't care. I'm done with this conversation anyways. It's kind of just like, say what you want about me, I don't care. But don't expect to have to be able to do this in the future, because I will call you out on it. I have yet a third backup profile, so I have 4 profiles now. And I'm ready to use it to call you out again. And I also told him, he's like, stop making profiles and leave me alone. You're being an asshole. I'm like, I can make as many profiles as I want, bitch. I didn't say that, but I'm just like thinking, like, I'll make as many profiles as I want, bitch. It's my right to make more profiles. I have that right on social media. It's not really my right, but I have the ability to make profiles, and there's nothing restricting me, so fuck. I also had Jess make a profile and comment on it. I mean, she already has a profile, but it's not actually hers anymore. She doesn't really use it. It was more her friend's at one point, because her friend was the one who kind of took it over. She has her old phone, so it makes sense. And they changed everything, so she's like, just take my profile. Okay. I had her make a second profile with the email I set her up with, by the way. Just to comment on that post, because she was just like, she was yelling at me about it. She's like, that fucking asshole, he's such a prick, he's such an asshole. Can I kick his ass? I'm like, you want to tell him that? You can tell him that on his profile. She's like, fuck yeah, set me up a Facebook page. I'm like, okay. I set up a Facebook page, and she's like, typing it out for like 10 minutes, and then she's like, nah, deletes it all, and then does like all swear words. Fucking bitch. You piece of shit. You C word, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Get a effing life. And then my favorite part was, and then get a girlfriend, because you're gonna need it. I love that. And then he banned her, of course. I'm just like, good job, high five. I didn't respond, because of course Jess had her, she put a very seductive picture on her profile of her, and it was funny because it's not a real profile. She deleted the profile right afterwards, but she put a seductive picture on it, so I'm pretty sure she scared him away from replying. That was epic, by the way. I've never been more proud of a girlfriend. Actually, where is she? She should be back at midnight. What time is it? Oh, it's 11:45. Okay, I got it 15 minutes before she's supposed to be back. I thought it was later. Whatever. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here, everyone. Thank you for watching Smexy Sunday, episode 1. Next time I won't get into a rant about that kind of stuff again. I just thought it was funny, and it does have to do with pedophilia, so I guess technically it's considered Smexy Sunday for adult topics. Not because it's smexy. No, pedophilia is never... Pedophiles might think it's sexy, but no, just don't. But it was an adult topic, so that's why I'm going into it. Also, this is not real beer. It's ginger beer. It's just soda, okay? But when I turn 21, I'm going to be showing you guys me actually drinking alcohol and me getting smashed. Oh, God. Oh, God. So, sad story, I've actually had sake. Oh, God. We diluted it with like a ton of cider, but dear God, sake is heavy shit. The problem with sake was like, I think it's one of like the heaviest drinks I've ever actually like seen effects from. I mean, I've never had it. I've never had anything else. So it's like, I'm kind of just going off of what I went through and then what I've seen people go through. And even then, I don't remember most of it. So I remember actually like flirting with Jess a bit and then passing out. That's about it. But Jess will be recording me then, so maybe you'll see a couple more fingers on the camera, who knows. But I'm going to be showing you guys, when I turn 21, I'm going to be showing you guys my first ever drink of, what's it called? It's the minty drink. A grasshopper, there we go. Because that's the one drink that I've always wanted to try. Just because it's minty, and I've had grasshopper ice cream, I'm like, if it's anything like grasshopper ice cream, I'm going to like it. I don't know how strong it is, but Jess is actually really good at making cocktails, so yeah. I'll definitely record that. I don't think I'm going to get drunk, but who knows with my alcohol tolerance. My alcohol tolerance is horrible. I can drink maybe a sip, and then that's it. Anything beyond that is just, whew. Especially sake, dear God. I've never had anything else. Sake is literally the only drink I've ever had. It was probably the worst possible drink I could have started off with. Oh, it was strong. Anyways, ending the video. Bye, everyone. Tune in next Sunday for Smexy Sunday. Smexy Sunday. Oh, I can't say it. Smexy Sunday. Maybe next episode I'll take off my shirt. No, I'm kidding. It's possible. That would scar you guys. That'd be the least sexy thing I can do. Got my man boobs. You guys like man boobs? I'm kidding. Anyways, bye, everyone. Tune in next week for Smexy Sunday Part 2. I don't speak Spanish. No hablo español. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Me llamo Jacob. Adios. That's all I know. Hasta luego. Don't sue me, don't sue me, Japan, for betraying your language. I like all people. Sorry, I don't think they'd sue me, but whatever. I'm friends with all the people. I'm friends with all I'm friends with all culture. Hold on. Oh my god, I forgot all about these. I was gonna eat one. Oh well. It's too late now. They're dried chili peppers. They're dry. Oh god. Apparently they're really spicy. I have not tried any yet. But look forward to my suffering because it'll happen. Anyways, bye.